It's opening weekend for Beauty and the Beast. Are you guys as excited as I am? You have to let me know in the comments below what you think of the film or what you're looking forward to seeing most. If you haven't seen it yet, stay tuned because I will give you a full review right after I see the film. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for watching and following along on my Disney adventures. It means a lot to me. And I am also Disney bounding the Enchanted Rose today, so I'll show you my full outfit. This Disney bound look was inspired by this book-shaped purse that I found at Target, and I'm so in love with it I had to buy it because I love books as much as Belle does, and I had to build an outfit around it, so I went with the Enchanted Rose. It's a custom design by Dressed in Wishes. I love the red top, it's the perfect color for the rose, and the skirt has abstract designs that are a little bit unique and have roses and flowers. We're at the movie theater. I can't wait to go in. My feet are propped up for the movie, and there's my Beauty and the Beast purse. The movie's about to start. I can't wait. I couldn't go to see Beauty and the Beast without stopping by Barnes & Noble afterwards because look at this Beauty and the Beast display. I mean, I already love books, but that movie has me in the mood to buy all the books. This looks really good. It's a novelization of the film. I gotta decide, you guys. I feel like I should only get one book right now because I have as many books as Belle. This looks really good. It's full of quotes. Belle's library. What a wonderful description of an exemplary ruler. I feel these are traits that all leaders, everyone really should aspire to. Okay, so I guess this is supposed to be Belle's notation to the quotes. Ah, look, they have a light up. I wonder if it's the battery's dead. Let's see. I think everyone's tried it. There's a light up Enchanted Rose. And here's one of the new Belle Funko Pops, and she's holding Lumiere. So sadly, Beauty and the Beast Lost in a Book is sold out completely at this Barnes & Noble. I'll have to go to another Barnes & Noble probably another day, but I think I might get the book of Belle's quotes because it's pretty cool. I was looking through it and it has a lot of Belle's opinions, so it's kind of her journal about her favorite book quotes, and it probably tells a lot more about her life. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get that one, and then I will save Lost in a Book for another day. Hey, so it's next day. I was absolutely exhausted by the time I got home from the theater last night, so I decided to give it a little bit of time so I could really think about the film and give you my full review. This will mostly be a spoiler-free review. I will definitely be talking about a few scenes that pertain to the original animated film, so if you haven't seen that, you definitely need to go see that first. But I will try to keep the rest as spoiler-free as possible. First of all, I just want to say, oh my gosh, I love this film so much. I was crying throughout the film. I can't even tell you completely why. I think this film just means a lot to me, and I know that it means a lot to a lot of other Disney fans. I was tearing up from the opening notes of the first tune all the way through to the end, and I especially was very touched when Belle came out and sang her village song. It was just such a beautiful film and a beautiful homage to the first animated classic. And oh my gosh, I think the only thing that I didn't like about this film is that it wasn't long enough, which I know sounds completely insane, but I love the fact that they added so much to the film. So there was a lot of depth and there was a lot of backstory, but I still wanted more. Every time they left the scene, I thought, no, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of Belle and Beast. I want to see more with her family. That's one thing that's really cool too, is that you get to know what happened to Belle's mother, which I will not give away. But I really like that. I liked seeing the backstory. You got more about the Beast and how he became a beast, a little bit about his backstory. Oh gosh, you guys, it was just so good. I know one complaint that's happening online, which is something I noticed, is the auto-tuning of Emma Watson's voice as Belle. But I have to say, I still liked it. I like the fact that she was the person singing. I know that, you know, they could have hired another actress or something with a singing voice and, you know, maybe avoided some of that. But I think, first of all, she was the perfect Belle, which I'll talk about in a second. But as a film scholar and someone who really just loves movies, I can say that another favorite musical of mine is My Fair Lady. And I don't like the fact that they dubbed in someone else's voice to Audrey Hepburn's character, because yes, it sounds beautiful, but it's Audrey Hepburn. I wanted it to sound like her, and to me it doesn't sound like her in that movie. And I've actually heard some of the recordings where she tried to record it herself, and it's not perfect, but it sounds like her, and I think that it's just more raw and it's more authentic. And so that's what I liked about this. Yes, the auto-tune may be a little bit annoying, but I don't think you could tell that much. I still like Emma Watson as Belle, and I'm glad that they used her real voice. So, on that note, I was nervous that she would feel like Hermione dressed up as Belle, and I love Hermione, I love Harry Potter, and I love Emma Watson, but I just associate her so much with that role. So I was pleasantly surprised that the entire time I watched the film, I wasn't thinking, oh my gosh, this is Hermione, this is Emma Watson. I really felt like it was Belle. She was a slightly different version of Belle, but very, very close to the original. For me, I just thought that she captured her perfectly. She captured her intelligence, her determination, her innovation, her independence. I think this movie means a lot to Disney fans because I think most of us want adventure in the great wide somewhere. We're dreamers, we love stories, whether it's reading, which I love reading, or just watching Disney films, which I also love that too. We want to escape into stories the way Belle does, and I think sometimes we feel a little bit like outsiders because we're dreamers and we're creative. We tend to have this view of the world as Disney fans that not everybody else understands. And so I think for me, growing up, seeing that character on screen who I thought, wow, that's so much, I can so identify with this girl who wants all of this adventure and so much more, and you know, wants to be creative and read stories. I really identified with her, and so to see that on screen in live action and to get the experience of seeing that story in theaters as an adult was just one of the coolest experiences for me. If you guys go see it, you'll have to let me know what you thought or how the experience was for you, but I think that's why I teared up so much. Dan Stevens did such an amazing job with his wit and his sarcasm. I really like the fact that the Beast was into reading. When you see it in the animated film, he discovers, or I guess falls more in love with reading as Belle reads to him. But Dan Stevens' Beast, he was already a reader. He was already using his library. And I thought that was kind of cool because you see why Belle and Beast kind of connect on that level. They also did a really good job explaining why Beast took Belle's father as his captive and why he took Belle, kind of how he saw them as thieves and, you know, people who had broken into his house. And you kind of get that in the animated film. I know that it's kind of uncomfortable that this girl, you know, the smart girl falls in love with this kind of mean beast, but he has this fantastic character arc where you understand that he saw them as commoners and he saw them as people who, you know, deserve to be in jail. And he has this growth where he understands that Belle's this really great person and probably a better person than he is, definitely a better person than he is, at least at the beginning of the film. And I think that was really beautiful in the way that they brought out that, you know, she's just this beautiful girl, but she's so much more. He's this beast, but he has the potential to be so much more. I liked LeFou's character arc. I thought they did a really good job with character arcs in this version of the film. He's kind of flat and just the funny character in the animated film. Josh Gad was very funny as LeFou here, but he had a little bit of growth, so I won't spoiler that for you, but the growth was fun. As you guys probably know, if you've seen some of my other videos, I'm not the biggest Gaston fan in the world. I'm not really a Gaston girl. I think he's funny and he's fun to meet in the parks and all of that, but I just think he's a really obnoxious, horrible, conceited person. The contrast between Dan Stevens as the Beast and I'm forgetting the actor's name, but as Gaston, their character arcs are so similar, but I think that's what kind of makes Gaston a tragic figure, is that he never really grows, he never really changes. So the Beast is an obnoxious, conceited, handsome guy, and Gaston is an obnoxious, conceited, handsome guy, but the Beast sort of grows. He kind of understands that he's not living his life the right way, and his life becomes so much more rich and full and beautiful as he learns to love, as he learns to not just care about appearances and superficial things. And Gaston's kind of tragic because as he falls off that turret, as he does in the animated film, you just see how sad it is that he lived his entire life not getting it. If he wanted to be with someone like Belle, he should have improved himself. He should have learned to care more about other people. So I love seeing that comparison with the hero and the villain. They are very similar, and they kind of go on this journey, and Gaston's like this, and the Beast kind of goes up and learns a lot. Oh, my favorite musical number was Be Our Guest. It was just absolutely beautiful. I know I probably should have liked the Beauty and the Beast dance sequence the most. I'm sure most people did. And it was beautiful. It was like the film. They had this really wonderful moment where they had candles floating, and it was all sparkly and romantic and beautiful. And the dress was amazing. Although I will say the yellow dress, it's pretty. I think it's prettier in the animated film. But the dress that Belle wears at the very last scene, it's a white dress with flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. That's my favorite dress of the entire live action film. But anyway, back to the musical numbers. Be Our Guest was my favorite out of the whole film because they had little references to other musicals. It was just everything the original was, but bigger, more. I really enjoyed the original songs in this film. Dan Stevens, I think he's a fantastic actor. He brought so much to this role, and I really loved his version of Evermore. It's a new song for this version of the film, and it was very much needed. I think the Beast really needed that moment to reflect on what has happened, how he's changed, his feelings for Belle. So it was beautiful. It's a great song. There is a rumor that they are working on a sequel to Beauty and the Beast, which would be kind of amazing because we've had the Enchanted Christmas, we've had those little cartoon sequels, but all of those take place within the time frame of the original film, the original story. So wouldn't it be amazing if they did a sequel, but we see what life is like for Belle and Beast after he's no longer the Beast? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that would be awesome? Because I think it would be pretty cool. I don't know about you, but I've always been curious what life was like after he transformed, and I would love to see a film made about that. So Disney, I hope you're listening, and I hope that you do that, because I can guarantee we will probably all be there and all be as completely as excited as we were for this film. I'm not always a fan of sequels, but I think this is one that needs to happen. And lastly, I think one of my favorite things about this film is the message. Of course, it's all about true beauty lies within. Belle is this wonderfully smart, courageous, unappreciated character, and in her little village, and then when she meets Beast, he appreciates her for everything that she is. And I think that they've really kind of played it up a little bit more in this film. I definitely think it's in the animated film too, but this idea of the villagers, the way that they shun her, because they add a character, which I also will not spoil this for you, but they add a character who is a spinster. And it's kind of a cautionary tale. There's more to her, but there's a cautionary tale that Belle might end up like her. And I think the way that they treat her in this town, just because she's creative, because she's different, it's really sad and depressing, and it really hits home what an outsider she is. And Beast is also, he's an outcast because he's this hideous beast, and they go with their pitchforks at the end just like they do in the animated film, and they want to destroy him. And I think with everything that's going on in the world right now, this is such an important message that we shouldn't jump to conclusions and think that just because someone's different from us, or looks different, or acts different, or whatever, that, you know, that we need to separate ourselves from them, or not accept them, or not at least listen to them and understand where they're coming from. And that isolation is what makes these characters sad initially, and it causes a lot of problems within the community, because there are so many different ways to be. And I think Disney does a really great job of showcasing that, of our individuality and our uniqueness, and how we should all chase our own dreams and we should all be ourselves. And the fact that everyone in Belle's village is just so into like the status quo and the mundane, and you know, they see how wrong they are in the end, because the Beast is really good and he's really kind, and they just want to shun something that they don't understand. So I think that that's an important message, this message of acceptance and loving other people even if they're different, or getting to know them first without judging a book by its cover. And I think it's something that we all need to see right now. I just want to say one more time, thank you so much to 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe that my channel has grown this much, and I know that because I'm always juggling multiple things in my life, I can't always post as often as I would like. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you guys hanging in there, and I will have more soon. I just have a lot going on right now, so thank you so much. I'm really passionate about making these videos and sharing the magic with people. It definitely is a passion project for me. I'm really excited that so many people seem to connect with it. And in the meantime, if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter and Tumblr, I definitely hang out more there. In between being able to make videos, I'm posting almost every day, so that's another good place to get your Disney fix if I'm a little bit slower than I want to be on videos. Until next time, I will see you real soon, and have a magical day. Bye!